What's going on, Jerome's? I feel like this is election night where we're just counting down. I feel like it should be chain smoking down here. 17 counties are now going for Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. Kirk Cousins is going to carry Georgia. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yes, all the drama with Kirky with Jerome Ezekiel Cousins is mercifully going to be wrapped up probably within the next 14 to 15 hours as legal tampering does open up at 11 a.m. Central Time tomorrow on Monday, March 11th, which is the only time zone that matters. There you go. So is Kirk going to be back with the Vikings? Is Kirk going to be with the Falcons? Who knows? Who knows what Kwesi is ultimately going to be putting on the table? Will the Falcons and Arthur Blank just completely put it on the table? We're building something special, Home Depot style down there. I don't know, man. But all of the rumors, all of the conjecture. Oh, Kirk goes moving to Atlanta. Oh, he's checking out schools. Oh, this, that, the other thing. But mercifully, we're almost done. And Tom Pelissero, a local Smoky on NFL Network, gave some insight on what's going on currently. Pretty good summation of what's going on. This is what he said tonight on NFL Network. Quote, the Vikings and Kirk Cousins' agent remain in communication, but at this point, well, what are they talking about, though? They talk about game night. Hey, I want to play Go or Parcheesi. Send. Not Dungeons and Dragons. But at this point, it appears that the four-time Pro Bowl quarterback, so weird to say, four-time Pro Bowl quarterback is going to hit the free agent market on Monday. That's not news. Other teams I would expect to pursue Cousins do include the Atlanta Falcons, or quite possibly the Denver Broncos as well. The Vikings are still in this. A deal could come together quickly, assuming the offer is right. So what does an offer to Kirk Cousins look like? I would certainly anticipate that the average will be upwards of $40 million. Now, it's interesting that he said 40. So Baker just signed a 3-year deal worth up to 115. So that averages out to just over 38. And, Kirk being the number one free agent quarterback on the market, it's interesting that he said 40, not 45, not 50. Now, yes, upwards of $40 million. But you would think that in an open market situation with multiple bidders, which I don't think that there will be. I mean, Kirk probably could get 45, 50 million per year. But the fact that Pelissero led with a relatively inert number, I mean, that's the number that Daniel Jones is making, is really interesting. And also slightly more than what Derek Carr is making. But structure is also really important. Future guarantees are really important to a player who has played on a fully guaranteed deal. Don't know why that says dead. A fully guaranteed deal for 9 seasons in a row. So it does matter for Kirk. So if you're signed to a 1-year deal, it's basically guaranteed. If you're a higher end player like Kirk Cousins, right? Because as soon as you're on that rooster week 1, your deal is guaranteed. But of course, that's looking towards the future, and that's something that Kirk Cousins wanted last offseason in negotiations. Was reportedly willing to take a little bit less in terms of average per season. That's why I go back to that $40 million figure, which people may not like it, but $40 million a year. If Kirk signs like a 2-year, $80 million deal with like 60 guaranteed, that's a deal. That is taking a hometown discount, as it were. But also, so the Falcons, everyone knows about. Pelissero said quite possibly the Broncos as well. But Dan Russini, a senior NFL insider at The Athletic, pushed back on some of the Kirko to Denvero speculation. Russini, go. While the Denver Broncos had some conversations about the possibility of going after quarterback Kirk Cousins, they're not going to be pursuing him if he hits free agency per sources. Now, that makes sense because I think the Broncos are in full-scale tearing down a rebuild. They got to weather that $89 million dead from the Russell contract, plus they traded Judy to the Browns. They're probably going to trade Cortland Sutton. So, number one, why? Number two, why would Kirk want to go there? The whole thing. And then Russini added, the Vikings have had internal conversations about their offer to Kirk Cousins, so that tacitly confirms that there is an offer on the table from the Vikings. They haven't been informed by Cousins' camp about his decision per sources. That does make sense because I mean, the Vikings and Kirk and his agent, I'm sure, have been in communication, like Pelissero said, but going radio silent until the start of the open of legal tampering does make sense too if he wants to explore the market. There's a feeling around the team that the quarterback wants to stay a Viking, but this will come down to the structure of the deal. Again, structure. is code for what about 2025 guarantees? What about 2026 guarantees? Now, Pelissero talking about he is going to hit the open market. He is going to hit free agency on Monday. That does jive with what Kevin O'Connell said at the Combine last week, where Kirk's a process guy, and this is a process, paraphrasing here, and Kirk has earned the right to be a free agent. And we said that's not the end of the world, where in a weird way, I feel like the Vikings have an offer on the table, as tacitly confirmed by Russini, and it's probably not a knockout offer. It's probably not one that includes guaranteed money in 2025, 2026 like Kirk wants. It's probably very similar to last year. Maybe it's a one-year deal. Or maybe it's a 2-year deal, but disguised as a 1-year deal, like most multi-year contracts are. But Goessling, I feel like they understand the market, because there isn't a lot of teams that are just frothing at the mouth and champing at the bit to throw crazy money at Kirk Cousins, because I do think that the Falcons are the only game in town. I think Denver is out. I think Washington is out. I think the Patriots are out even after they trade Mac Jones. I think they're clearly going for quarterback at 3. So in a way, it's extremely smart by Goessling, because they have leverage in this spot, because they could just walk away, because the Vikings could easily go find the quarterback of the future, which they should as well, even if Kirk is back. So basically, they want him to hit the market, and for him to realize that the market isn't really there. And also, there's talk that the Falcons may be getting wet feet or cold feet. Actually, wet feet can be cold feet unless they're just sweaty feet. Doesn't matter. Rex Ryan foot talk coming up soon. But maybe the Falcons don't want to really break the bank, which was widely speculated early on a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles. But also, Will Rag at Sports Illustrated had some thoughts here. Lots of non-updates about Kirk Cousins today. Ain't that the truth? What we seemingly know, he's going to test the market. Minnesota wants him back at their price, so unless they can up their offer, it's going to depend on what's out there. Guarantees are important. I'm still guessing he leaves, probably to Atlanta. Sort of what I'm feeling like as well. I feel like it's a slight coin toss. I feel like it's 55% he's gone, 45% he's back, and I think those are really the only two options right now. Goessling, the Strib, added, the Vikings continued contract talks through the weekend with Kirk Cousins, who's now about 14 hours from fielding other offers. So it's interesting that they're still touching base, even though it's very clear that free agency is right around the corner. My sense is the Vikings haven't minded Cousins gauging his market, just said that, especially if it helps him put their offer in context with others' busy week ahead. So just hypothetical, back of the envelope math. Say the Vikings are offering a 1-year, $40 million deal fully guaranteed, right? And the Falcons are very close, or the money is similar, or the Falcons are balking at a 2-year fully guaranteed deal, or 3-year fully guaranteed deal too. And then it comes down to, does Kirk want to move the family? Oh, but his wife's from Georgia, blah, 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 blah. Does he want to start over with a new locker room? Does he think that he has a better chance of winning with the Falcons versus right here with the Vikings, where he's had a ton of success and has Jefferson and Kevin O'Connell and Darrison, Addison, and Hockenson when he gets back, and the Flores defense, right? So that's basically what it comes down to. But then you get into, well, what if it's a 1-year, $45 million deal from the Falcons? Like, is all of that worth $5 million? Who knows? Who knows, man? And then Goessling also waited. So some Jerome asked him, my understanding, unless I missed something, is that if they deal isn't done by Wednesday, and when the NFL new league year starts, he won't be a Viking. That 28 hits the cap, and you wouldn't give him a contract on top of that. Is that correct, Goessling? Yep, just no practical way to do it. Oh, Riri. So we discussed that if Kirk's contract does void, that doesn't necessarily close the door on the Vikings re-signing Kirk, because, yes, the 28-5 comes home to roost. Those 4 void years are all on the books for 2024, but that's already been baked into the cake. And Brzezinski can structure a deal. Now, Kirk can sign a new contract with additional void years, basically trying to recreate what was on the books with those 4 years. They can sign him to a minimum salary, but also a large signing bonus with void years, so you can prorate that out to 4 or 5 seasons. So they can get it done if they want to get creative. But also, I don't think it's even going to come down to Wednesday. I think that we are going to get some clarity here on Monday very, very, very quickly, because I think as soon as legal tampering opens, I think that Kirk will have the Falcons offer on the table. I think that he'll be able to look at it against the Vikings offer, and it wouldn't shock me at all if Kirk Cousins makes up his mind by the afternoon on Monday. So I don't even think that it'll come down to this contract voiding at 3 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday. So again, summary, Vikings still interested at the right price. As Russini sort of confirmed, there is an offer in place. The Vikings do have some interest, but we said all along, and it's something that we've respected Goessling and the Vikings. Like, they want Cousins back, but they want him at the right price. Same thing as last year, same thing as this year. Kirk will hit open free agency, so AKA get into legal tampering on Monday. Falcons seem to have interest, but how much? I mean, overall, it's been sort of split. Like, you haven't seen any Falcons beat writers or any national guys just really running with it, where it's like, hey, Falcons want Kirk bad. They want you all tattooed. They want him bad. No, you haven't really seen that. Also, just taking the temperature of the Falcons fan base, I don't even think they want Kirk. I actually think that they'd be pretty pissed if they signed Kirk Cousins and then passed up drafting a quarterback at 8. Right? And then with Kirk's structure, guarantee structure is more important than average per season. Like we said, would Kirk take a 2-year, $72 million fully guaranteed deal, so $36 per season, versus a 1-year, $40 million deal, or maybe even like a $45 million deal if it's 1 year? I think so. Yeah, I think that's roughly what we're talking about. Broncos likely out, but also this should all be decided on Monday. So, like we said, the void years may not even matter. But mercifully, please, please, please make this happen. So, not going to lie, even though this channel is about talking junk and breaking down like the nuances and reading the tea leaves and stuff and all the speculation, kind of over it. Just let us know if you're back, man. Like, Vikings aren't going to break the bank. Vikings still should and could be drafting a quarterback. We got it made, man. We got it made. Like, hey, we would like to have you back at the right price. We think that we can have some great success with you. But if you want to move on, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Deuces. All that stuff. But your thoughts are thoughts. Quasi recap of where we're at. I'm so tired. So tired right now. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.